What's up, y'all? This is RC, Rob Lewis, Robert Campbell, whatever you want to call me. And this is my exclusive interview with the 419 Grind.
This is another 419 Grind exclusive.
When children used to see the dance every day, Mr. Toledo. When kids really used to go outside and play, Mr. Toledo. When females used to carry themselves as women, Mr. Toledo. When hustlers used to do their time without snitching, Mr. Toledo.
Gospel on the Green weekend came from a vision that I had while visiting Cincinnati Jazz Fest. I was like, I want to take this festival and make it into multiple days. So the inspiration behind taking it from 1 day to 2 days was based on, I would say, giving me more time and opportunity to bring in more artists, local and national, and then just having more fellowship and not having to try to, congest everything into 6 or 7 hours, because the vision was to do more artists this year. So I wanted to do more, and instead of having it all in 1 day and now we rushing kinda, it was like spread it out in 2 days and take your time with it and enjoy it. The lineup this year was inspired by just wanting to have a little bit of everything. I wanted to make sure that I had a quartet artist because I know how well quartet goes over in the city. Fred Hammond was for my 80s and 90s babies and those commission fans and, those type of people. Kiera was for the praise and worship aspect of it, just to bring in, a different type. And then the headliner was a no-brainer. Ty Tribbett was always on my list to try and bring in. The timing this year just worked. So we were able to iron out the details with management and everything. It just seemed like it was effortless this year with Ty Tribbett. One of the challenges I ran into this year was because it being 2 days, the transportation part of getting the artists here and getting drivers set up. At some points we had 2 and 3 drivers going to Detroit at the same time. One might have been picking up, one might have been dropping off. When you're dealing with artists with a group, everybody's coming from different areas, so their flight times are different. That's another thing that was, we had to iron that out. And then just making sure, that they get here. Detroit's an hour away. You always have that bubbly feeling of, I hope somebody don't miss their flight. I hope somebody's flight don't get delayed. I hope there's no traffic jam. You got to be prepared for all of that logistically when you looking artists from different places and they coming from all over the country. It could get scary. I can't lie. My expectation as far as ticket sales, I wanted to sell out. We didn't quite get there this year, but we did very well numerically. Sometimes I think I set the bar too high, but that's just me. I just expect the best always. Never, put myself in the mindset of a mediocre mindset, or like whatever my goal is, I reach for that goal. So, as far as ticket sales, I ain't gonna say I have my expectations too high, but when God give you a vision, you want it to flourish. You want to see 10,000 people. You want to be able to say, hey, we ran out of room, or, that's always good. But in return, you can live with, in this aspect, is those who were there were meant to be there, and those who weren't they just missed the moment. Feedback was crazy. Like, for me to see all ages, I think the oldest person on the fairgrounds might have been 95, 96, all the way down to newborn babies. And everybody up, jumping, dancing, enjoying, laughing, clapping, singing, crying, shouting. Like, to see that level of unity, all at once is amazing. It just lets you know that whatever your assignment is in that moment, you're doing it. Like, and God got your back. So, I mean, the feedback was crazy. Even more crazy was the energy. Like, everybody was excited. Everybody was rushing to get to their seats. People were on time, and they engaged with every single artist, no matter who it was. And it was magical. Ty's performance was, I think it was great, because I know this was his first performance that he did after his father passed, and he mentioned that. So I know it was to him what it was to the audience. Sometimes the artists need to be ministered to just as well as the audience. And then, of course, Tiffany going out into the crowd. That's always, Tim Rogers going out into the crowd. Cortez, they love to do that. Fred really let his hair down and, told stories and told reasons why he, on crutches at the time and what happened. So he was very open and honest. That helped people engage with him. Kiki was just flat out energy from start to finish. She just came out. She never had a low moment. She just came out and went crazy. And I believe she enjoyed herself. I believe Toledo gave her the energy and she gave it back to him. Man, when you got a team of individuals and you tell everybody, hey, we got to be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7 a.m. and nobody complain. They all get there and everybody's doing what needs to be done. It's amazing. Shout out to the team. Behind the scenes, you go through so many changes. It's like you envision, for instance, the stage is going to be here. The chairs are going to be here. The vendors are going to be here. But then when you get there and you start setting things up, the layout might not be exactly what you thought it would, but you got to be able to audible and be okay with it. Nothing's a big deal, like to the point of where you lose focus of the overall goal of the event. So we just go with the flow, man. My team is a flow team. Like, if I say, hey, y'all, we moving this here, we had went out there and set up the whole admissions booth Thursday, came back Friday, it was gone. Like, the wind had blew it, it was tore up, it was a hole in the tent. So we just audible, man. We didn't complain. I said, hey, I got a couple more tents at home. We popped them up. Everybody brought something to the table. That makes it a lot easier. When somebody got an idea and say, no, man, maybe we should do it this way or do it this way, that always helps. So team is important. Input is important. And then the leader being able to trust those ideas and those audibles that come and be like, all right, let's do this. I had to send people on last minute Detroit rides to the airport. They were okay with it. Hey, man, jump in the truck. I need you to go get so-and-so. They did it. So that type of stuff, people don't know that type of stuff take place, but you got to have people that's willing to go the extra mile for the vision. Because just because I'm the, visionary or the leader, I can't do everything. So you got to have people that's ready to hit the ground running. And my team is incredible. And, we'll do it all over again. I'm sure they will. And we gonna learn from it and do better next year. I don't think there's anything I would do differently, per se. There is some things I would add to what we do. But I think what we did this year, I think that's the formula. and I don't want to change the formula based on thinking we have to do something different every year. It's just, you take the formula that you have because it works, and then you just add to that formula. So the formula don't change. You just change up the ingredients, maybe. It might be a little bit spicier next year, or you might take some spice out next year, or but the formula is there. We just got to stick to it because the formula was given by God. We don't want to try to make it our formula. Like he gives direction and vision, and we just roll with that tunnel vision. And then whatever roadblocks or things we need to implement, we'll implement them. But the formula is pretty much the formula, and we're going to run with it. The thing that I think this festival does the most is, I was talking to my wife, and she was like, it felt like a big family reunion. Because nowadays, everybody goes to their separate churches. They go to their separate ministries. They go to their own favorite artist concert. But Gospel on the Green is like, now it's the hub where you see those people you haven't seen in years. You see family members that don't come out. I had maybe 3 or 4 sections where it was whole entire families, aunties, grandmas, cousins, grandbabies, all sitting under tents together. They're laughing, they're playing, they're eating, they loving on each other. So what it brings, Gospel on the Green brings a feeling of that family reunion. And it's evident that that's what it should do, because we're all in God's big family. He created us all, and that's what it's about, unifying, togetherness, unity, being able to pray together. At one point I looked out in the audience when Bishop Pat was praying, and everybody was holding hands. And in that moment, I'm seeing people holding hands with people that they've never met before, but there's the connection, there's the bond, and that's what it's about, is, just unity and togetherness. In a positive light, no drugs, no alcohol, no influence, just the Holy Spirit and us, outside of somebody's church or somebody's, the 4 walls, which is what it's about. I want people to remember Gospel on the Green as a moment to where everything was perfect. To where you wasn't thinking about that bill you had to pay. You wasn't thinking about that job you got to go back to. You wasn't thinking about that sickness or, that trial, that tribulation that's hovering over you. In that moment, nothing else mattered but what was going on the fairgrounds, which was unity. In that moment, you're able to erase all worry. It's a feeling of hope that you have when you leave there, knowing that God can do anything. And I think that's the thing we want to make sure that we put out into the community with this particular event, Gospel on the Green. We want to make sure when people leave, they're inspired, they're uplifted, and even if it's for a moment, they acknowledge that the air we breathe don't belong to us, and being here in this moment is a privilege, and God loves us, and that He's there with us, and He got us. So I think that's the biggest thing I want people to know and feel when they come to Gospel on the Green, is that feeling of hope, that feeling that tomorrow's going to be better than yesterday. And I think we're on the right path with it. Thank you for watching my exclusive interview with the 419 Grind. You can follow me at Rob Lewis, Rob RC Lewis on Facebook. Instagram is official Rob Lewis. And Gospel on the Green will be back. Just hit that pound button, type Gospel on the Green, and you can see all the memories from all the years. So we're expecting to see you next year.
Toledo, rep your city. Visit us online at the419grind.com.